సెంట్రల్ కేబినెట్ నిర్ణయాలను కేంద్ర మంత్రి నిర్మలా సీతారామన్ మీడియాకు వివరిస్తున్నారు. లైవ్ లో చూద్దాం.
Incentive scheme for manufacturing of specialized steel, we expect that our need for specialized steel for producing such commodities which can be both addressing the demand which exists within the country and also aim at exporting such products which require specialized steel. So from the point of view of Atmanirbharta, the selection of these sectors have been pharmaceutical, white goods manufacturing and specialized steel. But if you were to look at it from the global value chain through which we want our manufacturers to also get into the global value chain, again pharmaceutical, which gets covered under the Atmanirbharta, is also one. Then you have the solar PV modules, whose production we want to incentivize by giving the PLI. We also have the telecom and networking equipments for which we'll give PLI. And then more importantly, manufacturing of automobiles and automobile components. So if you're looking at getting into the GVC based arguments, these are the sectors which have been chosen for the PLI, which is going to get covered through this announcement. Labor intensive, yes, we have used that measure also. Textiles and food get covered under that. So this package of the PLI covers 10 different sectors, and I'm glad to say, initiated of course by Niti Aayog, Finance Ministry has worked together with these many ministries: MeitY, heavy industries, pharmaceutical, telecom, textiles, food processing, new and renewable energy, DPIT, the Industries Ministry, and also the Ministry of Steel. So the 10 different sectors chosen address the question of Atmanirbharta, address the question of global value chain linkage, address the question of labor intensive sectors where we want jobs to be created and therefore investments to come in. Above all, sunrise sectors. Sunrise sectors in which India has grown into specializing. What are they? Advanced cell chemistry, planning for advanced cells, and the entire chemistry which goes with it will all be invested in, and therefore productivity linked incentive will be provided for that. Broad spectrum of things which come under electronics. High efficiency solar PV cells are all sunrise sectors which are also part of this set of 10 sectors for which the current announcement of the PLI is applicable. Prakash ji rightly said, over the next 5 years, this is going to be estimated, this is today estimated, that the new PLIs that we are bringing in for these 10 identified sectors will involve an expenditure of about 2 lakh crores. So this is something which we are very happy to announce that the cabinet has given clearance for this. And on this, immediately, the concerned ministries and departments will be implementing it. They all have had enough discussions to know how to go about it. They will start it. The final proposal of the PLIs of the individual sectors will be appraised by an empowered group, which is the Finance Committee, Empowered Finance Committee, and then approved by the cabinet for each one of them. So this is something which I think will immediately give an impetus for greater investment and also strengthening these sectors. So that's about the PLI. The other is one continuation of a scheme which exists, but also revamping it to an extent that the financial support which has been extended all these years from 2006 of viability gap funding or providing a viability gap fund for economic infrastructure will now be extended even for social infrastructure. From 2006, that this scheme which exists of the viability gap funding, where 20% of the total project cost was given as the viability gap fund by the central government, 20% of the total project cost which was given had continued from 2006. We shall continue that. Till now, about 34,000 crores of rupees have been the total value of the projects which were brought under the scheme, of which the viability gap fund which was provided by the center is about 5,500 crores. We shall continue that scheme for the economic infrastructure. But what is now being offered is under two different schemes, viability gap funding for social infrastructure. What are they? Social sector activities which relate to wastewater treatment, water supply, solid waste management, and health and education sectors. So in these sectors, if there are projects through which private participation can be sought, central government would extend 30%, and the state governments would have 20-20 for the social sector, and then the project pilot will get 30-30, right? Social sector 30-30. Sorry, yes. So the economic thing which continues will continue with a 20%, and the state also puts in 20%, then the private party comes up with a 60%. Whereas in the social sector, where we are now announcing that we will make available the viability gap funding, 30% will be given by the center of the total project cost. Another 30 will be either the department which deals with it or the state government which wants it. And the rest, 40%, will come through private participation. Now, if that is one of the way in which water management, wastewater treatment, hospital